Welcome to the StockMatter.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockMatter Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. And we're approaching another week of trading coming out of an options expiration week. And the markets just steadily climb higher. So we have not really seen any kind of a major pullback at all the entire month of March. As you can see, we started the month of March here, back around the 10,300 area, closing it as of this is the 21st today, so 10,741. So the entire month of March has been all but a steady uphill climb without any kind of a major pullback. Gotta Really needs to give you some reason for concern at this point. It's only healthy for it to pull back. Give the profit takers a chance to kind of take a little bit of that money off the table before climbing again or wherever the next move is going to go. But if this bull run's going to continue, there has to be some sort of a more major move in the markets. Maybe the Obamacare will be some sort of a stimulus to the pullback, to the move down. Really hard to tell at this point. I don't know what it's going to be accredited to. But if you look at it, broader scheme, here is what I really saw this weekend that struck my interest. Since the beginning of March, we started back here about 10,300. We've now gone to 10,741. Now, maybe I'm a little spoiled. Maybe I'm a little used to what the markets have been doing. However, a 400 point move really isn't all that much. We're talking 3 weeks of basically straight up. I mean, really, there's no major pullback in here. And we're only 400 points higher than where we started the month at. So it's not really an impressive climb by any means. Once again, when and where the pullback will come, nobody knows. So we're waiting for more major levels to be broke, especially down here on the Dow below 10,650. But just keep in mind, we have not had a major pullback yet. And we're only up 400 points in like 3 weeks, 21 days worth of trading. We haven't seen anything major yet. So if this thing continues to climb higher, I don't expect that it's going to climb at any kind of a precipitous rate. 400 points is something that, at one point we were doing in a day. But, it's not uncommon to think that over 3, maybe 4 days worth of trading, we could easily do 400 points in the Dow. That isn't out of the realm at all. 150 points a day, and all of a sudden you're there. So to take 3 weeks to move up here, and it'd be one thing if we moved up and then had a huge pullback and then came back up. Okay, now we've got something to talk about. I mean, 400 points with a huge pullback. Yeah, okay, that's something, that seems a little bit more on the bullish side because you are getting a major pullback, but we haven't seen that yet. 400 points in 3 weeks worth of trading does still give me cause to be concerned over the bull side of this run. I'm still, with that being said, I'm still staying with my same strategy. I'm going to be, if the markets start to trend up in the morning, I'll get in. I'll still play the bull side, but I am not holding overnight. I'm not taking that chance. And it might continue to climb the rest of March. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen here, but it's not going to climb at any great length. So you're still going to have opportunities to get in every morning and get out every night and not have to worry about that one major, oh, hey, by the way, Greece, yeah, that was all kind of a joke. It's not going to work out. And then the markets crash. Or now it's Spain. Or now it's the U.S. or whatever it might be. Who knows what news could come out that would give the markets reason to pull back here. I just wouldn't be caught on the short side, or I wouldn't be caught holding long. How about that? I wouldn't be caught holding long in a situation like that. That would be very bad because we don't know how long the pullback will last, and you could be stuck in your longs for quite a lengthy amount of time. So that's my strategy going forward. Looking at the Dow on a daily, you can see we have not broke this blue line. That is what I'm looking at on all of the indices, and we just have not seen any kind of major pullback yet. Now, Friday was like triple witching or quadruple witching or whatever it is. But regardless, even though the volume is really high here, we had no break of any kind of support whatsoever here. This overhead is still holding. This blue line is still holding. I keep a 5-day on my chart. That's holding extremely well. There's really no reason for me to get super bearish here. But watch these major levels as they fall, below 10,650, below 10,600, all of these as it heads back down. Those are going to be your opportunities to get short this market if that's what you're looking to do. Okay? Don't try to guess at a top. Have a logical reason for why you are getting into a short position. And one of the most logical reasons is, well, it's breaking a heavy line of support. Here we have a nice setup. So be watching that level coming into early next week. NDX on a 60-minute redrew a lot of lines, cleaned up my charts a little bit. You can see we've got very good, tough overhead resistance up around the 1040 or 1945-ish area on the NDX. But we are holding this channel to the upside very nicely. Here's the 50-period moving average. Here's that channel. This is a very defensible long position down here with a small stop then right below the 1920-ish mark or something to that effect. Whatever, how you manage it, however you want. But this is holding very well down here so far. Now breaks below 1920 kind of start to give it a little bit more of a bearish sentiment, especially a close. You'll notice how we've been dipping below the channel but not closing below the channel. So I'm really big on that close. Look for a close down below the 1920-ish area on a 60-minute chart for the NASDAQ to start getting a little bit more bearish on it. Keep in mind, though, it really doesn't hit this line, this thick line, until we get to the 1900 area. There's our overhead resistance. There's our blue line, and you can see how much more it has outdistanced the other indices at this point. Yes, high volume on a red candle, but no movement on the red candle. None really. So watch these heavier lines of support if you're going to get more bearish on the NASDAQ. It's such a strong index. You have to be very careful with it. NASDAQ on a weekly, here's my overhead. That's still about 1960, 1970. So if we continue upwards beginning of the week, and keep in mind that Mondays have been decent to the markets the last umpteen months. That might change, but we don't know. And until that happens, we need to go in to Mondays with a quasi bullish sentiment, because even though we might not have got up on Mondays, we haven't gone down. Sideways maybe, but usually sideways or up is what we're doing on a Monday. So watch that carefully. But if we do head up early in the week, I'm looking at the 1960, 1970 level on the NDX. SPX on a 60-minute, you can see us. This is it's a bull flag, guys. It's a bull flag within a rising channel. Right at the 50-period moving average, right at this support level, sitting down here on this support level. So any break back up and over, the 1960 or I'm sorry, 1165 area is, I would most assuredly believe that it would push higher than into 1180-ish. Somewhere up in that area before it finally slowed down. We're looking for breaks below 1150 ultimately to get a little bit more bearish on the SPX, but right now, no reason for me to think that. This is a bull flag within a bullish channel, sitting right on two heavy levels of support that have held nicely so far. SPX on a daily, not breaking this blue line, still at this overhead line as well, holding that pretty nice. This, my friends, is a high base, and those are bullish. So until this gets broken to the downside, ultimately below 1150, I still have to remain cautiously bullish, but cautiously bullish as we proceed into early next week. SPX on a weekly, same thing here. If it continues to climb, 1226 seems like a long ways away without some sort of a pullback. Once again, very possible because we are up and over the 1150 area. Let's see if we get confirmation on that this week with another close above the 1150. I like to see confirmation on these moves. VIX on a daily, no fear in the market. A very, very low here on the VIX, but sitting right on a very, very strong support level. And the blue trend line here holding very well as support as well. A break below that, I see eventually we're going to make this line down here, and that means more upwards motion to the market, and that ultimately could take us back to that 1226-ish area we were looking at on the SPX. If we get breaks below here on the VIX, that would certainly mean more bullishness to the markets yet to come. Apple on a 60-minute redrew some of these lines. Here we have a symmetrical triangle and a break below the symmetrical triangle.